Hey, this is DJ Straight coming to you live from Praise from the Closet on Sunday, November the 14th. I invite you guys to go ahead and share with some of your friends. I am excited about today's open mic because I'll be honest, I'm supposed to have some people on, and I got one of my heroes on, and the other two, I have not heard from them yet, but we're going to go forth with who I have on. I'd like to bring to the studio, Praise from the Closet studio. You can hear us every day on WGMLB.com. Listen live 365 24/7. And we are coming from Praise from the Closet. And at this time, I'm going to bring on my first guest, the one and only J.E. Sturdivant. And I want to say, I don't see a junior behind him. He's looking good as always. But hey, welcome, James Sturdivant.
Yes, it should be the second. I should put that on there. So I am my father's son. But yes, it's good to be here. How are you?
I'm doing well now. You'd have to forgive me if I call you Eric by accident because that's what I know you as.
Oh, it's okay. My mother still calls me that at 43 years old. So it's
Oh,
fine.
43. Oh, my goodness. Wow. I'm excited to have you on. Let me tell you why I wanted to interview you and Joey and a couple of other guys, because I remember you all when you guys were just little babies. I mean, literally just babies. And I want to say that you and Joey gave me my very first drum bag. It was
Uh,
nylon blue as a Christmas present. And I carried that bag. I carried it until I probably just didn't know where it was, and I might even still have it somewhere. But your mom used to
wow.
bring you guys in these little shiny faces, and they came straight to the front, and that
That's
just
right.
made my heart glad. But the reason I want to interview you all is because I see your Facebook pages from time to time, and I just basically want to know, where you guys are, what are you doing? I know that I had no idea that you were a musician until I came to the church, right? Years and years ago. So I don't know. I know you used to come about the drums, and I know Joel wanted to play drums, but I had no idea that you were a musician as well until I heard you sing it and play. I was like, look at Eric. So anyway, okay, let's catch up. What's going on with you? Look, I like the beard too.
Thank you so much, baby. I appreciate it. Well, I mean, the Lord has been kind. I've been blessed. My upbringing has been in church, so I've been under the leadership of my parents for years. I recently started branching out, and I'm contracted to, countless churches right now, whereby I am facilitating, teaching, instructing, leading, directing, doing vocal trainings, praise and worship conferences, leading praise and worship, playing, singing. I'm doing a little bit of everything. So, churches have me contracted in to do the leg work, I should say, of their music ministry. So I've been fortunate and blessed, even during the pandemic, to still be working with countless ministries and countless churches. Doing what I love to do. I love music. I grew up in it. I remember,
Absolutely.
like you said, running to the front row, watching you on the drum set years ago. We used to be so pressed to sit on the front row, those little red pews seat pews at Randall. We used to be so pressed to come sit up there and watch you play drums because you were literally the first woman that we saw playing drums and could do it so well. So you used to literally rock Randall Memorial back in the day. And so we were just excited to watch you. And from there, I can literally say you are one of the instrumental people that are, instrumental in our lives musically. You are one of the ones that have helped pave the way. Of course, my father instilled in us, early in the game, as far as being musicians and things of that nature, and just having an artist, art background, period. And
Yeah.
so from there, it's blossomed, it's grown, and umpteen years later, I'm still doing what I'm doing, and I absolutely love it and wouldn't trade it for the world.
Absolutely. So how did you get to be how did you pick keyboards and organ and things. I know Joy always wanted to be a drummer, but did you
Mhm.
just happen to get that? Was that okay? He has drums, you have that, because I know your dad sings and everything. Shout out to your dad and your mom,
That's
Dr. James
I started
Sturdivant.
playing. I started playing keys courtesy of Dr. J. E. Sturdivant Sr. he made me. He made me play. And at the time, I did not enjoy it. I was like, "Why are we doing this?" My brother was on drums, and I was on keys, and my sisters. Well, what she was playing guitar at one point, and then they both are dancers. And so he
Okay.
always instilled in us, and he told us that no matter what happened in life, we always would have something to fall back on. And that's where the music comes in. And so I've literally been able to fall back on what I do. And I started singing as a result of him because, of course, he's a singer, or singer as well. He doesn't do as much now, but back in the day, the whole DMV knew my father singing.
Oh
And
yeah.
so, from there, that's where I started. So I kind of just picked up the baton and just started moving forward and doing, what he did as well.
Well, not only you the spitting image of your dad, facial
Yeah.
wise, but as far as that as well as too, but you a graphic designer, because I saw some
Mhm.
of your work, which I didn't know. That's why I'm saying I see you guys post, and I'm like, well, look at these guys. I mean, they're all men, they're grown men, and that's why I said I just wanted to get you all together and say, well, what are you all up to? So how'd you get into graphic designing?
The lack and the need that was there in the ministry. No one was there to do it. So I just started tickling at it. And again, my father was like, one thing about my father, he didn't really ask us to do much. Let's just say that it was pretty much, you were told to do. And if he told you to do it, even if you didn't have the ability to do it, he had enough faith to believe he was going to learn how to do it. So I just learned how to do it because he said do it. And when he said do it, I tried it and it worked out.
That's
So
great.
everything that I'm doing now, whether it's graphic, whether it's professionally writing, um, grants or letters or whatever I'm doing, or music or whatever I'm doing, it was by the unction and the push of my parents. They were the backbone to all that I'm doing. Now. So I always give credit where it's due. Whatever praise I receive, whatever accolades and awards and things I get, it's definitely due to my parents who put me in the path to do what I'm doing.
Yeah, but see, it's great that you can take what you have learned in the church and then contribute it to the
Hmm.
secular world to help them as
Hmm.
well. So
Hmm.
that counts. Now, do you serve as a mentor to people?
I do. I do. I don't like the words. It's such a big responsibility, but I do. And that's both in the natural realm as well as the music realm. Um,
Yeah,
I've just been blessed and favored to really just help um, structure and build, what people have inside, and I don't take what I do lightly. I'm very, very
right.
grateful. I mean, that's why I started off at the beginning by saying the Lord has just been very kind. He's just allowed me to do and to be put in positions and put in on platforms and put in the presence of people to do things that I would have never imagined, doing. So I'm extremely grateful.
So what about tell me about some of your travels? I know you've probably been to Africa several times and some other places, and what type of
Hmm.
exposure have you had in your travels? You know?
Well, majority of my ministry travel early on was with my father. Of course,
Okay,
traveling with him, and he's an international evangelist. So
exactly.
Lagos, Nigeria, London, Trinidad and Tobago, Europe, England. I mean, most of my international travels and things like that were serving alongside with him. And whenever he traveled, he would take me with him. So I would serve as his adjutant. But it worked out because I was killing all the birds with one stone. I was a security, I was adjutant, I was his musician, I was his singer, I was his bookseller. I was able to do, everything. So I was literally all the birds being killed with one stone.
Yeah, but he had to have somebody that he could trust. But not only
Right.
that, because you've never had formal training. All your training have come basically through praying and laying on of hands, correct?
Mm-hmm. And by ear and by the anointing. That's it. We I think
Right.
we did training maybe I think 1 month. My father said, and that was it. That didn't last long. So out of all the years I've been doing what I've been doing, I've had training for a month. So that's why I said all of what I'm doing is the Lord has been kind. There's no way I
Excellent.
should be doing what I'm doing and doing as well off as I'm doing with no training. And people are well more advanced and far more trained than I am. And the Lord has allowed me to share platforms with them. So I'm extremely grateful.
Yes. So, what's your inspiration when you start writing music? Do you do the music first or the words first? What's your inspiration?
Neither, because I don't write. I've not written a song a day in my life.
Oh, really?
Never.
Oh, okay. When you said writing, I thought you meant writing.
No,
Okay.
writing as far as like I mean, I majored in English, so I professionally write, not music, but writing. Period.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So, are you working on any books?
Not currently. There may be some things in the future, but currently I'm not working on that part. Everything right now is structured around ministry. So I'm literally
Yeah.
just spreading myself amongst the churches that I'm working with and been blessed to, serve alongside with.
So, let me ask you this then. Flip side.
Hmm.
If you weren't in the music or weren't in ministry such as you are, what would your career I thought have been maybe years ago or as coming up? Like I said, Joey always wanted to be a drummer, but what would you
Hmm.
have done if you didn't, if you weren't doing the ministry work?
I'd be in somebody's office running something because I got to be in charge of stuff. That's I'd be in somebody's office doing something, running something because I am business oriented, but I like being the boss and running stuff. So I'd be
You're a
in somebody's
natural leader.
office,
That's a great way to say it. You're a natural leader.
and I get that from my parents. That's how they raised me, and that's how they are. So the independent, strong-willed, strong-headed, boss leader mentality that I have, I get it from my parents. So if I were not doing music, I would definitely be in business management, business administration, somewhere in those things, running a business some kind of a way, somewhere.
Well, by you being firstborn, that lot had
Mhm.
to have fall somewhere, and I'm sure you trickled it down to your siblings. Tell me one of the probably the most exciting experiences that you've had in your travels, whether it was meeting somebody or discovering something, or being able to be a blessing to somebody. What something that just stays in your mind, like, wow, God, I just can't believe that.
It will probably be Lagos, Nigeria. When we've traveled, and I've been there maybe 10 times. It could be more because I went with my father, I think almost 10 years straight, I believe, something like that.
Okay.
But just going over there and seeing millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of people in one arena praising and
Hmm.
worshiping, I'll never forget that because we don't have that here in the States. I mean,
No.
when I first went there, I think the crowd at that time was like 4 or 5 million at a time. Now they're well beyond that. They're up in the 10, 12, and 15 million people. But when you're going there and then sharing a platform, like, I mean, I've been blessed to be on the platform with that many people. I mean, that's just stuff that you don't forget those experiences. And
Yeah.
so when you're in those type of settings and environments, and you're on the stage ministering, or you're just on the stage watching, and you're seeing people go forth in fellowship and lift up Jesus, you don't ever forget those type of situations.
Yeah.
So that would probably be the most epic scenarios that have stood out, and I'll never forget.
Now, do you find yourself when you're in platforms of that nature, um, going backstage or backhand and say, "Hold on, that light's not right, that mic's not right." You get to the event and things are set up, and you're there to just minister. But do you find yourself? I know the answer is yes. Go back and say, "Hold on, check this out."
Absolutely. I'm like that. I mean, even when I was traveling with my father, I would always go in places beforehand. And even while he was up preaching, I would go back to the sound room, because I'm anal about sound. So I would be running the people's soundboard while he's up preaching, because I knew how he wanted everything, so I
Right.
knew how he wanted sound, so I would, if even if now if I'm ministering, I'm telling them, take this reverb out, add more of this, take this out, put this in there, give me more of this, because I've been doing this for so long.
Yeah.
I know what I'm looking for as far as sound, and being blessed enough to be able to play keys as well as to sing. When I'm on stage, I know how to tell musicians where to go and how to flow and what to play while I'm doing, so that even if they're not familiar and the connection is not there, it can be there. I could tell them, okay, go to A flat, go to the 1, go to the 4, go to the 3, go to this key, go do this, so it makes it an easy, seamless presentation, even if we've not practiced or done anything.
Well, you just said something that made a lot of sense. You
Mm-hmm.
said A flat, go to the 1, go to the 4. I find
Mm-hmm.
that, and I'm not going to say you never can say all, but gospel musicians or Christian musicians don't think it's important to know theory or to know the basics,
Yeah.
because again, if you know the basics, you can sit anywhere, and you
Yeah.
don't have to spell the chord out, just as you call the alphabet name, or you can call the Roman numeral name. Is so
Mm-hmm.
important, because one thing that I find that's very agitating to myself is I hear great musicians, before everything shut down, and they could play and play and play until you just think you're in the clouds. And as
Mm-hmm.
soon as the pastor say, play a hymn, leaning on the everlasting arm, something, it is
Mm-hmm.
so out of whack that you're like, what in the world? You almost want to do like the guy did on the Five Heartbeats, where he was playing, they go
Yeah.
and sit
Yeah.
down and
Yeah.
stop
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So how do you feel about the hymns, playing the hymns?
Well, going back to Randall, this is who we are.
Yeah,
We
true,
grew up
true.
on him, so as old as I am, that was our structure, that was our foundation. So,
Yeah, love
we
it.
grew up on the burgundy book with the gold cross on the front, and turning to, page 163 or turning to page 49. I mean, that's what we grew up on. So
Yeah, that's
hymns are
true.
they're a part of our upbringing. So I can do all the contemporary stuff, the modern stuff, the good stuff, the jumping stuff and everything. But one of the churches I work with now, they strike up a hymn in the drop of a hat. And I mean, I'm just like, okay, that doesn't faze me. I mean, I know hymns, so this is a part of who I am,
But I
so
bet they appreciate that too when you're not fumbling on that keyboard, because if they're singing, you can go straight to that hymn. It's like, hey,
that's right.
we got this, or whatever. So let me
That's
ask
right.
you this: not just musicians, but
Mm-hmm.
what kind of advice would you just give to somebody that's they're in the church, they don't necessarily know what their calling is, or they're not necessarily comfortable. You may see them jumping from ministry to ministry within the same ministry. How would I want to say advice, but just give some you know thought about, hey, how do you find your knack or your niche in ministry?
I would say, like my father told me, you have to do what you would do even if you weren't getting paid for it. So whatever you do, you like to do, that if you didn't get paid for it, you would still wake up every day to do it, and you love to do it, and not a paycheck is in sight. Whatever your passion is, that's what you would go after and do. Everybody's not called to be a musician.
That's right.
Everybody's not called to be a singer. Everybody's not called to be in the pulpit to be a pastor. Because if that's the case, who gonna usher?
That's right.
Who wanna be a trustee?
That's right.
Who's gonna cook in the kitchen? You have to know your lane, and because the stage looks so popular, everybody wants
Invitation.
to do that. But
Yep.
people don't realize that with that stage comes a lot of responsibility, and
Yeah.
comes a lot of attack, a lot of scrutiny, and a lot of everything. And by God, I know I'm not perfect. I've had many falls while being in position. And that's one of the things that I'm like, maybe this calling is not for me. But that's when God also shows and reminds, like, that's why it's not your doing, I called you.
Yeah.
And that's why I do what I do, because, and that's why I have to keep saying, it's only because of God. It's
Yeah.
not my talent, it's not my gift, It's not, I'm not that gifted. I'm not that talented. I'm not that wonderful of a singer or a musician. People can sing circles around me and play circles around me. But the thing that sets me apart and distinguishes me from others is the anointing. And that's one of the things that I just pray that God never takes away from me, because
Yeah.
outside of that, I'm foolish. I'm as filthy rags, you know.
Yeah.
And so when he whatever he's anointed you to do, that would be my advice. Do that. Don't try to do something because it's popular. Don't try to do something because it looks good or has a big following or people like it or they're going to praise you. Because people will praise you today and then curse you tomorrow. Ask
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
He had it happen. You know, they'll praise you today and curse you tomorrow. So, do what makes you happy, but then also do what you are anointed and
Yeah.
appointed and called to do. That makes a big difference.
But that also comes a stage of accountability, not just
Yeah.
to whomever you're working with, but it
Hmm.
comes accountability to you. So at the end of the day, now listen, did you get any cooking skills from your mom? Because I know she can cook, and I had the pleasure of tasting her food many times. Is that
Yeah.
part of
She,
part of
she
okay.
that I'm the only one she'll let in the kitchen. If she's not in the kitchen, she don't mind me being in the
Really?
kitchen. She knows because she's trained me well. So
Okay.
I can do what she does and do it to the same status that she's pleased.
Okay.
Because you can say you cook, but if your mother and your grandmother and the old mothers don't approve of it, you ain't doing nothing.
Not
But
doing anything.
when they can say, okay, son, this is good, you did good, okay, you're doing all right, okay, well, can you make this, you can do this, you prepare this, then you got the seal, you got the seal deal, you good.
Absolutely. So what other outside of when you let your hair down, take your hat off, and you just
Yeah.
chilling out. What else do you like to do other than the ministry and the music? I know you like the vacation or something. What else is there that just like
I
I see you guys
vacation
posting? Huh?
I vacation often. Let me just let you know. One thing I do have is balance. I'm not about to be working and dying in my work. I have
That's
balance.
right.
So I'm going to travel. I done been, I don't know how many places this year alone. I done traveled, and so traveling is a must. I love to shop. That's going to be what I do until the day Jesus comes, and I'm going to be happy and content doing it. So I love to shop. I love to travel. I love amusement parks. I'm a roller coaster fanatic. Front row seat roller
Oh,
coasters is where I'm at, where you can find me. So I'm amusement parks. I'm not in nobody's shape. Don't have no six pack or eight pack, but it would be on the beach walking around. Like you can't tell me I don't have a 10 pack on my chest when I'm walking around the beach.
a 10.
You
Okay,
know, so
cool.
listen, I'm so at peace and free at this stage. I wasn't always like this,
You
but
look
at this
good.
stage of my
You look
life,
good.
so I just be just as happy and content. And I'm walking around there with my flip flops on, the ice cream cone, and I don't care if my belly is hanging out. I'm gonna be happy with me and my belly. All will be well. You
Well, you
know.
know what? At this stage, though, of our lives, and you said as old as you are, you're 43. Okay, so
Yeah.
to me, you're still a baby. Okay, I got that. But you said roller coasters. Now we'll go back and say that we all went. Me, BJ, Nat, Jenny, and all of us. A whole
Yeah.
lot of us, and we went to King's Dominion. I want to say I think sometime in July, and
Yeah.
I like it. I wanted to ride. I hadn't been in a long time. I was disappointed that we couldn't stay at night. But
Yeah.
I got on the pendulum and that was cool. But I got on that 305 and that was it. I walked around with the children for the next time. I not want to be spending my money and not riding, but that 305 took me
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. See, but I don't know what it is about me. It's the thrill of it for me, And
Yeah.
the whole time I'm riding, I'm definitely screaming, and it don't matter to me. But it's the whole thrill of it for me. So it's either the very 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 front row or the very 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 last seat in the back because you
Oh
feel the
wow.
most on either one of those. So
I I
that's what I
felt
be
it from the
doing.
middle.
You
I
felt it for
felt
the
I I felt it from the hey, look at Eric. The whole time I'm like, I didn't open my eyes and that slide was coming all out this
Oh,
side.
now wait a
And
minute. Now, see,
that
now,
was it
see, I'd
for
have been
me.
mad you sitting beside me.
But no, but I still like the rides, though. I couldn't help it. I was on there. So, but this is the thing. So, what type of you still got so much to give, so much to live, even though, know we don't hold the keys to life and death and
Yeah,
things of that
yeah,
nature, but you've accomplished so much in such a young age. And you're right, you had great upbringing,
yeah.
and you couldn't help but to learn the things that you learned. And I know one day you'll have the J.E. Sturdivant, Junior Enterprise somewhere.
I
But what are you,
received that.
what, huh?
I
Yeah.
received that wholeheartedly.
Hey, I think it was somebody I don't know if I told you, but I'll come and be your office manager. Hey, I'm good. I got 5 more years to go. And I'm like you, because of our upbringing. We know how to run things and to
That's
do
right.
things.
That's right.
Where do you see yourself in about by the age of 50? Where do you see yourself? Do you have any goals or checklists that you want to obtain, that you want to mention?
Well, I mean, to be honest, there's not really, because what I can say is everything that I have wanted to do,
Hmm.
God has allowed me and been fortunate to let me do.
Okay.
So it's not really too much that I'm really looking to do. Whatever goal I set to do or that I want to do, I just
Hmm.
do. You
You
know,
just take one day at a time,
yeah,
right?
and that can be from if I want to buy something, if I want to go somewhere, if I want to obtain something. My recent goal was I wanted to buy a house and close before the end of the year. Even while in the middle of a pandemic,
That's
I
right.
wanted to do that, and I closed on a house this past week. You know,
See,
so it's like anything that I want to do, God literally is. I challenge God. I'm like, this is what I want to do, and I'm like, it's up to you, God, to make it happen. You big enough, you bad enough, you God enough, make it do what it do. And sure enough, he does. So
providing we do our part, though.
and that's
Provided,
the whole thing.
yeah,
One thing I will say, I told somebody this past week. I said the only reason why I believe I am as blessed as I am is because I've never stopped tithing. Never. I
that's right.
live by tithing. I just believe, and people may not understand what that is or agree with it. I don't care. I don't change my mind about it. You can't make me doubt it. You can't make me change it. I
Yeah,
believe that even in the pandemic, I continued to tithe. It didn't matter how
that's right.
much of a tithe it was, my tithe still remained the same. And I just
That's
believe
right.
that I am blessed the way I am blessed is because I do what I'm supposed to do. If you, like you said, if you do what you're supposed to do, God has no choice but to honor it and bless it. No
That's
choice.
right. That's right. Well, not only though, but are you tithing, but you're giving your time. And honestly, I'm
Mhm.
really looking at you. I'm like, man, listen to Eric. This boy is just off the chain. I'm just your secret admirer. But
Ah,
again, no, you guys always had a special place in my heart. But
yeah.
but really though, I think just because in the times that we live in, people are struggling, or
Hmm.
black lives do matter, all lives matter, but it's
Hmm.
like, but God has brought you through.
Hmm.
And that's a testimony. And that's all of us can say that, in the midst of whatever is going on.
That's
But
right.
one of these days, the roof is going to open and the world is going to come back and say, okay, we're open now. So you mentioned about traveling. When you just traveled this year, was there
Hmm.
is any hesitancy or any reluctance, or you just was like, wow, look at that, that's just beautiful, nice beaches, nice this, whatever?
On my part, not even a little bit. I traveled like any other time. I wore my mask and kept it moving.
Do you ski?
I do what I want to do. Let's just say it may not be the correct way, and it may not be the way. I just believe that when I get on there, as long as I make it to the bottom, that's
Right,
all that matters. Some
right.
people make it on the to the bottom still standing. I may not. It
May
doesn't
not,
bother me.
exactly.
As long as I get down there, if I roll, if I tumble, if I flip, if I trip, if I knock you down in the process, hey, we all made it. That's how I feel about it.
Hey, I'm looking to go tubing sometime in the winter. I want to get and put on my little snowsuit, and I'm looking to go right on down that hill and spin and yell and make sure I have on my
That's
look.
the
I'm covered
way.
with my head and my gloves.
That's the
Hey,
way.
I'm still young at heart.
No, you're only as old as you allow yourself to feel.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying that you won't, you don't age, but the whole thing is age, but don't get old. Let's say that. Let's say that. I just believe still live your life and do what you want and live your best life. Listen, my grandmother, my
I
dad's
was getting
mother
ready to say,
is 99 years old,
yep,
literally. And I was just with her last week, and her spunk and her sarcasm and her shade that she kept on throwing was immeasurable. I'm just up there, I'm saying to myself, that's where I get it from,
yeah,
because she was as shady and feisty as she wanted to be. But at 99 years old, you can say
that's right.
what you want and do whatever you want to do. But if
She
she can
can be.
still at 99 still, get up, walk around, and still do what she's doing, why are we half that age complaining? You
Yeah,
know.
absolutely,
So,
absolutely. Yeah, I've got a couple of friends. They have their moms are literally 100, and one of my goals, hopefully this year, is to get a call like this with some 100-year-olds who can tell us when it wasn't the BW Parkway or this and
yeah,
things of that nature. But
that's right.
so I know when I asked you about coming on and you made the sacrifice to come, and I said I wanted to keep it at a time limit because I know that your Sundays are well taken, and it's also a rest day. Because for me, no matter what I do on Sunday, 6 o'clock, everything gets cut off.
Well, see,
Everything gets
I
cut off.
literally I left literally that's why I was like 2 minutes late. I literally left a gig to come jump back on to do this, and I still got to do something to get off of here. So,
Eh,
but I did not want to not show up, and I did not want to not be in attendance because I gave you my word, and so I wanted
Absolutely.
to make sure that I showed up and was in attendance, and then just also to say thank you for the opportunity. And you didn't have to ask little old me to be a part of it, but to see what you're doing and to see how you're still moving, you're still shaking, you're still making it do what it do, and you're still having an
Absolutely.
impact in the community. Even if it's not directly through music, you're still having an impact in some way, shape, form, and fashion. Listen, I'm going to always support and do whatever I can for my little self. So whatever I can do, I'm going to make it happen.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, no, we can never get away from music. Actually, the station is live. It's just what you got to connect the video with the audio part. But I am a
Okay.
bona fide DJ. So if
Come
you
on.
got
Okay.
some gospel stuff coming, DJ Straight is not just a name. Bishop Ross gave me that name years
Okay.
ago. So
Okay.
I pay homage to him. But
Okay.
yeah, DJ Straight is legit. I use QSCs and EVs.
Okay, okay. Well,
So
listen.
I
Well, to
got my
see you
own
doing all of
systems.
this, you making it
Huh?
do what it do. DJ Straight. Okay,
DJ
okay.
Straight. So I pay that to Bishop Ross as homage. But really, I thank you for coming on today. You always gonna be my boy. I know
Oh
you're a man, but you always gonna be my boy. And I thank you for coming on and sharing. And this won't be your last time, but we'll get the other guys
Never.
back on. But I just wanted to publicly bring you guys on. I see your pages and just say thank you because I'm watching you all. And I ran into your dad not too long ago. I said, yeah, I call those boys every now and then. He said, well, good. He said, good. I'm glad you called them. So keep in touch with them or something like that. I said, oh yeah, yeah. Every now and then I gotta check on you guys. So thank you,
Absolutely.
J.E. Sturdivant
The second.
Jr.
Nope, not Junior. The second. The
Oh, the
second.
second. My fault. The
My
second.
father would have a fit if he heard you say
If
Junior.
you're Dr. J.E. Sturdivant. My
He's
fault.
Dr. J. Sturdivant Senior, but he's
Senior.
named me the second. He said
So
there's no
listen, hold
Junior.
on. What's the difference between the second and the junior? Because my nephew is like that. He's the second. He's not a junior.
I have no idea.
No
I just
idea.
know
Okay,
that
I'm gonna stick
he.
with Eric. Thank you,
There you
Eric.
go. Be safe. Be safe.
I'm gonna stick with Eric. All right. Stay safe and enjoy the rest of everything else. And we'll touch bases again.
Yes, we will. Love you much. Have a great
Love
one.
you too, Eric. Okay. Bye
Okay.
bye.
Bye bye.
Cool. Bye bye. Wow, that was good. That was talking to Eric, and he had a lot to say, and I'm so grateful that he was able to come on. And I have some other guys we're going to come on in coming up probably this week. I'm going to take you all on a tour of what WGMLB actually is. We have a lot of things planned, and guess what? You can be involved if you have breath in your body. Now, let me say, if you have breath in your mouth and some activities in your limbs, and even if you don't, we will come to you. We can be mobile as well. As I was telling Eric, I am a bona fide gospel Christian DJ and love it. Rap, hip hop, classical, country, all of that. I love it. But WGMLB is for everybody, all ethnicities, and it's all for all ages, because the whole primary purpose is that we're determined that we're going to reach people through the love of Christ. So this is DJ Straight signing off. And listen, tomorrow at 6 o'clock, we've got Praise from the Closet, 1 hour aloud. That's on Mondays, where somebody actually comes on and we have a reader that will read the scripture for 1 hour. They're not there to preach, they're there to read the scripture. So if you want to read, you can see our information. Visit our website, wgmlb.com, and send your information, or you can email Gospel Music Lovers Buffet. That's our email address. And if you don't feel like emailing, just pick up the phone and call 202-322-2470. Again, this is DJ Straight signing off, and thank you all. Thank you for your support, and we will see you all the next time. By the way, go on our website, wgmlb.com, and click on Listen Live. And right now, Danny and Lizzie are playing Dancing in the Sky. A few minutes ago was Chicago Mass Choir, Nobody Like Jesus. So we have such a variety of music that you're literally not going to find on any other station throughout the whole country. And then I can say the world, because God gave me the idea for the station. And I'm sure that if I do what he said to do, it's going to be all right. All right, signing off, 10-4. Bye-bye. Thank you all.